Tonight, we begin a three-part 11 News investigation that we hope will educate, inform, and quite honestly, save you a few dollars.
We're talking about a national epidemic, the significant costs of prescription drugs.
And in the first part, KTHV 11's Marielle Mohs explains how we reached this point and why some of these drug prices are so inflated.
Craig and Denise, routine medicines used to treat diabetes, deadly allergic reactions, cancers, or seizures. They're all necessary, so manufacturers can rely on our purchase. But our diseases become incurable when we can't afford the cure. You've heard of them, or you're using them, like the injectable Humira for Crohn's disease.
Since 2011, it's had a price increase of 68%.
Or maybe the allergen injection, EpiPen.
We've experienced a 139% increase.
Or how about Xyrem for narcolepsy? It spiked 116% in 5 years. All of these adding up quickly and often.
We see some manufacturers raising their prices 2 times a year, 3 times a year.
These price spikes consistent nationwide. And behind it all, the drug companies.
Internally, we tend to chalk that up to greed.
For example, the Novolog FlexPen by the drug company Novo Nordisk increased 73% over the last 5 years. In 2011, it sold for $222. Today, it sells for $500. And with only 5 pens in a pack, it lasts a patient only a month or less.
Simply because they can.
Yeah, prescription drug price inflation is that simple, says Scott Pace, the CEO of Arkansas Pharmacists Board.
Not because there's an increase in demand, not because there's a raw material shortage, but simply because Valiant could get away with charging more for their product.
Dr. Dwight Davis of UAMS researches the price trends. He's seen the highest growth over the last 10 years.
Most of the increase was driven by average claim cost. And so that tells us that we've seen significant increase in the drug cost itself.
Whoa, wait, what's average claim cost? I get it. It's confusing. Let's break down how average claim costs makes your medicine so expensive. When you go to the pharmacy to pick up your prescription, the pharmacist writes a claim to your insurance. That claim determines how much the insurance company is going to pay and how much you pay. Let's say I have a high deductible. I'm going to feel the effects immediately right here at the pharmacy counter, paying entirely out of pocket. But if I pay copays, I keep paying the same flat rate every time while my insurance company picks up the higher costs. Sounds nice, right? But I'll start getting hit once my insurance company decides to raise my copay to help with the total cost. Either way, we pay because it's legal.
There are no regulations that we're aware of that govern how often price increases can be taken.
And the FDA does not have control over them either.
We have a Food and Drug Administration that regulates the safety and efficacy of products, but not any agency that governs the pricing of those products.
Health insurance companies now stuck, unable to make their patients' health a top priority.
Many families have to choose between food and drugs, and that's really it's a difficult place to be as a healthcare provider because you want to help them every way you can, and it's not always possible.
Leaving families to fight their illness all on their own.
We would have sold the house, all the furnishings in it, all my wife's jewelry, and we couldn't have afforded the medicine.
That's Doyle Burkfelt of Batesville. He could not afford the drug Harvoni, the only cure for his wife's illness. In the second part of a 3-part investigation tomorrow night, Winnie Wright will introduce us to this family and their struggle to afford a life-saving drug.